Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of In the Circle with Suzan. That is me, Suzan McDowell, President and CEO of Circle of One Marketing. We're a full-service marketing agency here in South Florida with a tilt towards the African-American and Caribbean consumer. And I am so excited. It is May. I cannot believe it is May. I feel like I was just at a New Year's Eve party from 22 to 23. So I'm not even sure how we're in 2024, much less May. Yet here we are. So happy May. There's so many wonderful things happening in May. It's still the spring. I love the spring. It's my favorite. So I am super excited today to have one of my dearest friends on my show with me, the beautiful and talented Jill Tracey, who I have known since forever and ever and ever.
Amen.
Amen. And we were both a Hot One of Five together back in the day. Hector Hannibal, who is very near to me, put her on the air for the first time. And so Jill and I have been together for a long time. So, ladies and gentlemen, please meet the maven, the media, the beauty, the icon, the legend, the fantastic Jill Tracey.
Queen on the throne. Hello, thank you.
Queen on the throne. Queen.
Thank you so much.
Listen, after everything we've been through, yes, we are queens. Yes.
Yes, girl, but that's how you get here.
That's how you get to be a queen.
Jesus.
Is you take a bunch of pow punches.
Life for me ain't been no crystal stair.
Well, let's talk about that, Jill.
Places where the bullets. Okay.
Tell me, we're going to do what everyone
That's a lie.
does.
It's actually been great. But anyway.
What I do with everybody is I'm going to say start from the beginning. What happened? I was born and then what happened?
I was born, we did that. Well, born black child.
I was born not a poor black child.
That's not true. I was born in Detroit, Michigan. Mm-hmm. My family was the first black family on the block in the Jewish community.
Nice. Oh, lovely.
We had the house on the corner.
Super fun.
My great-grandfather, it was 4 generations in that house. And my great-grandfather was a numbers man. And probably one of the most successful. And
so he
ran
was
a
a
nightclub.
bookie.
He started as a book. He did numbers at the corner store.
What is the difference between a bookie and a numbers man?
A numbers man at the corner store is, maybe bringing home a grand. At that time, maybe bringing home $1,000. Family has to have $500. You still owe whoever put you on, and I got $100 left.
Oh, so,
you know what I'm saying? And as you scale up and as you become the boss, exactly, like any, and so and he was very successful, and then he went in nightclubs and he was more successul.
Oh, wow!
And we were that family.
So you were the family that showed up like, what? On the block.
Now you know where my mother got it from.
Yeah, no, I was very fortunate to also come from a very kind of like highly regarded
family.
Everywhere I went in Jamaica, Dr. McDowell would be like, just get whiplash for people recognizing my dad. Yeah. So I'm used to being next to a superstar as a little girl, like, oh my God, you're so awesome.
Right.
So I totally
not
understand.
Knowing what it meant, but really liking the attention.
Yeah, well, also too, like in the comfort of it, the kind of like knowing that you're next to somebody that we're important. Like it's important. It's fun, So I look back on my childhood now and I go like, oh my God, my dad was the man. Yeah. We had a joke about him. We used to call him Dr. Smood because he didn't actually walk. He just glided.
I love it.
He was so great. Anyway, so all that to say is I understand. So back to Detroit.
So and I went to the middle school was walking distance, from our house, and I want to say, I maybe 8th grade. Mm-hmm. My mom and I, were the Jeffersons. We moved on up to downtown Detroit in a high rise on the 17th floor.
You're really doing
my
it.
God. My mother was the first black female manager at Chrysler Corporation.
Oh my God!
She had a new car every 6 months.
You were way up there. I know. Cadillac every 2. Yeah, exactly. You're like, I'm going to get this.
And everybody wanted to come because we lived in a high rise. Yeah. And all my friends that went to the same school, they lived in nice houses.
Regular houses. You were high rise. A different kind of living. Yeah.
And so I don't know how. If I had to really go back and say how I became like the center of attention, I really really don't know. I mean, I always thought it was because I was fat. I was chubby. I was, the biggest one in the group.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course.
Because that's always what it is. A fat girl is the biggest. No.
Yeah.
Not
no.
true.
But,
it's not true.
Personality.
But you didn't.
I owned it as opposed to have been shunned by it.
Well, so I remember, I don't know if you remember, but one time we were at Hot 105 and we were talking about it. You know, I always ask them crazy questions. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about size or whatever. And I said, well, Jill, how big do you feel?
Right.
Like in your mind. Because you know how like in your mind, how old you feel? Like for me, I have a certain age that I'm going to stay at because that's how I feel.
Forever. Right.
Forever. And so I said to you, Jill, what size do you feel? And do you remember what you told me?
Sort of, but not. But I remember it was shocking.
You said, in my mind, I'm a size 6.
6. Yep.
You said you were a 6, and at the time, I was a 6, and I was like, okay. And at what time did you? What size did you actually wear?
I don't know. Probably maybe like a 13.
Listen,
probably double. Yeah.
Think about that. Think about because in your mind you have this kind of agency inside your mind that's not it outside in your body.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I want to say my Aunt Cheryl was heavy, but we were the only 2 out of 7 women in that house, and I didn't realize it was. I can't even say I ever realized it was a curse.
That it was a thing. That it was a thing. And you had no idea it was a thing because you're just doing your life. Yeah,
and I want to say...
I don't even know if it's a curse.
It wasn't even... Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of what was the moment that was like, okay, you are not like the other kids and you're not going to be... College, probably.
So, but when...
It was I remember the moment now. Yeah.
But when it was college, was it... Did the light go off physically or mentally?
Mentally.
And was it mental because you were big?
It was mental because... The difference that I had that the other, like the girls that ran the AKA and all of that, the difference that I had was physical. Like I was bigger than them.
But you're also smarter and funnier.
Yeah, or as smart, funny, whatever.
Got it. Okay, so all things being equal, then you were the bigger one.
Right.
I understand.
And that's what I wanted to be an AKA. And... But at that moment, I must have been like a sophomore, and I was watching them pledge a line, and the girls was hopping like frogs or something. And I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that. I was like, so what am I? But I had this group, of friends on campus, and we used to break into buildings and throw kinky parties.
What's a kinky party?
It was like we would break into the building and like we would go, get liquor, and hide it in our rooms. And then like on Friday, right. Yeah. And then like on Friday, we would have a hookup. Usually it was like the rec center or something. We'd have a hookup in one of the buildings that would keep it open so we could come in and have this flash party. And then, and run out.
How long did you have that party?
Oh, that's the kinky party. That was like...
But I mean, did it last for years?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
With nobody catching you?
Yeah, we got caught. Several times.
Did again anyway.
And and being fat, it's hard to run. So, the pool party, and I'm trying to get out of the pool and not bust my behind. Okay.
And not look guilty.
Thank you. Well,
Officer, I don't know who these children are. Who are these people?
Right.
I don't know. Like
I was just having laps before bed.
Oh my God.
But and that kind of. But the interesting thing that always happened to me was that there would be that side, and then there would be, the disciplinary side that half and half would like me. There would be half of, administration or police or whoever that really thought, okay, I get a kick out of her. And the other half was like, who does she think she is? We're going to show her who she is.
Exactly. Right. We're going to show you. You're going to go right back to your place because I don't know why you think you should. Yeah. This big girl with your loud mouth is going to get anywhere.
Yep.
And then what happened?
And that was like the dichotomy of my life for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I want to say it was right out of college. I was writing for Entertainment News and Views, and I was getting invited to everything, everywhere,
Yeah,
and
you were the it girl.
And the money was not matching the hookup. And so, I mean, I literally could get it. Just, what's your name? Jill Tracey. Oh,
you're Jill Tracey? Oh my God, come right in. Yeah.
And so I'm trying to remember.
When was this?
This was 93, 4, 5, somewhere.
So that's where I met. That's when I met you.
Yep.
93, 4, 5.
Yep, it was right up in there.
I remember the spot on South Beach on Espanola Way? There's a place called The Spot. And I remember I was 20-something, mid-20s, and my friends were with me, and I was at HOT. And we were like, hey, listen, sir, can we get into the spot? And nobody could get in. And I'll never forget my friend Jackie goes, show them your HOT 105 business card. And I was like, nobody's going to care. She's like, girl, show it to them. I whipped out that guy. Oh, right this way. In that moment, I was like, no way.
Yeah.
These people don't know who I am, but the fact that I'm with the media, carte blanche, every single time. Oh, right this way. It's crazy.
Every single time. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then if they know you or read you, and a lot of, that was the thing that worked for me, was Howard Salas and his beautiful wife, God bless him, just gave me free reign. They were like, do what you want.
Wow.
And,
Howard who?
Howard Salas.
And
he owned Entertainment News and Views.
Oh, I think I remember Howard Salas. Yeah. And so you got to go and build your name.
Carte blanche. Yeah.
So, okay, so we're going to get to, Hector Hannibal.
Yes.
Is the father of my very beautiful child. We love Hector. He's we're very close. And
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, it's me and Hector. I love him. Actually, his mom just passed. And so I've been like trying to, I understand.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Hector and I are still very, very good friends. And we share this beautiful daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
We share the gorgeous Sydney.
We can't call her Sydney a child anymore, though.
She needs to listen. She's always
40 now?
Always and stop. So anyway, she's in her mid-20s.
Yeah. Anyway,
But Hector, I'll never forget when he called me. He was like, there's this girl called Jill Tracey on Power 96. And what do you think about her? And I think...
99. No, I was at 99 Jam.
Wherever you were. But at one point, you were at Power 96.
For a minute.
I remember that's where I heard you. But anyway, I remember him asking me. And I was like, yeah, I think I remember. And the next thing I knew, you were on... He had put you on HOT 105. Mm-hmm. And then what happened? And then you became Miss 411.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was nobody else in the space. Mm-hmm. And
nature hates a vacuum.
And I had, by this point, I had, people everywhere. And that was, definitely credit to my mom because, she raised me really well to understand and appreciate just a myriad of things.
Yeah, and to be able to
stuck in one.
The agency to go from one scenario, one environment to seamlessly, and to be authentic in
and Howard
all
and
of them.
Mavis didn't want to do. They got to the point where they didn't want to have to show up to the opener every envelope.
Wait a minute, who?
That owned Howard Entertainment News and Views.
Oh, I got you. So they were like, good,
they
you
were
could
like,
go.
Here, you open the mail and you go cover
you have
whatever
a good time.
Oh, okay.
So wow, that was a great job.
Yeah,
tailor made for you.
Oh my God,
tailor made.
And so I'm trying to think of it was that time, and it was something that was coming up, some really big event, and I couldn't afford the dress, and I went to Sawgrass Mills, it just like sort of kind of opened. And I went to Saks off Fifth.
They had just opened.
Yeah. I went to off Fifth, and I want to say maybe I had $100, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to find something in here.
For $99.
Right. Or something. But I found a couple of things, right? So I'm like, okay. When you get to the register, you'll decide which one or not, right? So I put this stuff up there. The lady rings it up. But she neglects to see this $200 dress. And I was like, oh, well, now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to hide it, but.
But since you didn't bring it up, and I am just about out this store.
I'm not, you're not doing your job.
Baby, I literally, it's almost like my foot went over and the rear. I was like, Mother, oh my goodness, what is that? But I don't have, like, I'm guilty enough to be like, oh. And the other one's like, okay, but you got this event, you got to get away with this shit. So let's go. Oh, I mean, just everything. It was like a tsunami.
That minute, that can only
I don't remember
imagine.
anything from that minute to calling my mother from jail.
Oh,
nothing.
My God.
Yep, I had to call my mother and my best
poor Linda.
friend.
I know she was like, no, all this work I did.
I will never forget that look on her face.
I will never forget when I heard it. I'll never forget being like, no way. And I'll never forget calling you I remember where I was on the highway when I was calling you and I was like, oh my God, Jill, I had left the radio station. And you said, I'll never forget, you said, when God knocks you down on your knees, it's a good time to pray. It was the first time I'd ever heard that. And I was like, clearly you're praying.
Okay.
And you were like, oh my God, what a show.
Let this be a blessing. Because my grandmother used to, whenever you do something stupid, my grandmother would always say, let this be a blessing to you.
You dumbass.
So I'm just like, wow, okay.
So then
biggest story ever.
It was
of my life so far.
It was,
Oh my God.
It
because
was turning point.
And as a psychology major, that's sort of what I was like hunting for in college. And I don't know what, to this day, I couldn't tell you exactly what it is, that even people who, when they're spreading the gossip, feel a little guilty. Mm-hmm. But there's something about being the one, with the last piece of cake.
Yeah.
That's
to be like, see, I told ya.
Yeah. And that is, that's fame.
The curating of those pieces of information that from your psychology are going to make people go, like, I'm always looking as a marketer. I'm always looking for whatever it is, whether it's good or bad. I need it to be like, oh my God, I didn't know. It's that one, that literally what I do is in that exact moment, that's what I want, no matter what it is. No matter what it is. Because that's where you have the power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when you can sell people that, like, surprise, like, I want to know.
Yeah.
So basically, that's how you curate that kind of career.
And it does, both of them, it's like the devil and the angel on your whatever shoulder.
One is like, you need to do this in order to get ahead.
Right. And the other one is like,
come on, girl.
John 3:65 says.
They went to others.
And it's like, okay, but I'm okay with this one right now if I can get away with it.
Exactly.
That is
So you feel like that's what it was when you went to Saks.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, I probably get away with this, but
it was
you
not
didn't.
Bird Eyes, it was Saks.
It was Saks.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, if you're going to go all the way.
You can't just go like regular Bird Eyes.
Yeah,
anyway.
Okay. You shoot yourself in the head. You got
so then you got
stealing out of Kmart. Kill me now.
That's just kill me now. Go straight to the top. So then you got fired from Hot 105.
Mm-hmm. Everything.
I got fired from Hot 105. I begged them so hardcore not to fire you. I begged him. I remember being in his office going, please, trying to come up with another reason for him not to fire you, whatever, fired you. Then what happened? Then you went to Jams.
You know what? Right. In hindsight, if he had thought about it, nothing. The thing that made me popular was I had so much scandal. I was always telling everybody else's tea.
I tried to tell him. I was like, she's more valuable than this mistake.
Yeah. Because if I were him, I would have said, okay, well, I'm going to keep you on, but you're going to tell this story. You're going to. I'm going to have somebody come interview you.
But that was at the beginning of reality TV. People didn't tell those stories. They tell them now. But at the time, Tony Kidd was not trying to have anybody tell that story.
That was at the beginning.
That was when you could have been like,
yes. Yeah. Because somebody would have heard that, Grant Miller. Somebody would have heard that and be like, call her.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But
so you went to Jams.
Yeah, but and to that point, Jerry Russian picked up that phone.
Jerry Russian, listen, that's a smart man.
I heard what happened.
Come on, baby. Come on.
I was like, yes, sir. And he was like, all right, where are you? I was like, I'm at home. He was like, okay, can be in my office in an hour.
Yes, sir.
Done.
And that was so smart. I remember when they scooped you up, I was like, because it was so smart. Yeah. It was a smart thing to do.
Oh, it was and he just, Jerry Russian and James T. I will never have enough words to explain.
Yeah. They saved you.
How much I learned from them.
Yeah.
It wasn't. They didn't really. They saved my career. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they understood.
Yeah, because
they knew, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They
how
were
it
like,
could happen, why it happened.
Right.
Like you were, you're just really trying to piece together your career, and this one dress that you weren't really trying to steal, but you ended up stealing, is going to put you into an event that is then going to carry on your career. It's really just like kind of a part of the relay.
And that's exactly how it was when I went in the office with the two of them. Mm-hmm. And Jerry said to me, okay, what do you need? And I was like, and he was like, you can't be out there doing it. But I want you. So what do you need?
Oh, what do you need so that you don't need to steal clothes?
They're stealing nothing. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Which could have also been the choice of, like, Cox could have said the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Cox could have been like, how about we give you a clothing budget since you're Miss Bon Vivant?
Right.
So, but anyway, so it was just a different time. People just weren't thinking that way.
Well, people come from different spaces. Mm-hmm. Yeah. At that time, Jerry saw my validity outside of some dumb mistake.
And he was probably annoyed. He was probably annoyed with you this whole time.
Thank you.
Like, damn, this girl is like, on my nerves because you were his competition. So, I mean, I've been in that where your competition, you mad because they're pretty good competition. Uh-huh. So I know he was like, aha. He was like, their loss, their stupidity, their short-sightedness is his gain.
And,
he's definitely smart.
And he's a great poker player. So it's like, not only did I get the queen that I wanted, but she's beholden to me.
She's beholden to me.
Right. Exactly. And it was. I was like, I would never in my whole life do anything to undermine and to be less than what they saw in me at a really difficult time.
Totally understand.
Never, ever. Yeah. And so that changed that whole game. It was like, you have to, not to say that you don't keep running into that other person, those other people. Mm-hmm. However, now I know better.
Now you know better.
And I can share that with other people who are like, well, what about?
So that was, first of all, thank you, Jerry Russian, because he did. He gave you.
He did.
I'll never forget. It was like whiplash when I was like, oh my God, she's already on 99 Gems. Like in my mind over on the Hot 155. I was like, go girl.
And then, and the thing was when after all of that, we got all that out and he was like, okay, what do you need? And so I, ran down everything. So he said, all right, come back tomorrow. It was like tomorrow or the next day. And I went in there and he's like, okay, so on Tuesday, you got a ladies' night at so-and-so.
Oh, this
Wednesday,
is how you gonna get what you need.
Review.
I remember that.
Friday, you're going to be at Friday Night Live. And so in addition to your check, that's going to be about $700-800. You good?
You're like, yes, sir. Thank you. So easy.
So
easy.
Like, yep.
And part of the relay, part of what you need.
Yep.
We're going to charge people for you to come and be like, hey.
That was
back in business.
Oh my God, that was the best
You're
time.
Back in business.
I had so much money. I mean, that's like that's the first time I went to Jamaica. It's for all of that.
Yeah. So then how'd you end up on Iyanla Vanzant's Fix My Life? Since everything was so awesome.
Right. My mother moved to
La La Land.
Yeah. My mom was in Detroit and she left her job at Chrysler and she moved down here.
Oh, here, not La La Land.
What? LA?
Your mom? No, she moved here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then you went to LA.
Right. Then I went to LA. No, she was still here by that time. She came in like 98, 99.
I remember. And then, so how'd you end up on the show? We don't have a whole bunch of time. I forgot to tell you, 30 minutes.
So, it's exactly 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Okay, there needs to be a part 2 of this. You can't.
It might be part 2. It's okay. We have 6 minutes and 14 seconds.
I ended up starting over because I was watching it. With my mom. My mom had just been diagnosed with like dementia and had a heart attack.
It was that long ago?
So, it started a long time ago.
She was sick for a long time.
A long time.
Oh, wow.
And it said, if you want to start your life over.
It struck you.
Boom, done. Wrote it, sent it was. I had like the newest, it was like when the iPhone just came out and I sent some dumb little thing, whatever it was. And it changed the whole game.
And then they called you, we like your story.
They flew me out there and then they sat me down with Iyanla and I was just like so grateful to be able to
vomit it all up.
All of it.
To vomit it all up. This is how I feel from,
anybody who ever saw that show, that show, we start at a table, but we end up, I am crying in her lap on the grass in front of the house.
I remember.
Just for hours.
And weeping. Everything about all your mistakes, everything you regret, all the stupid stuff you've done. And you just feel, I mean, I wasn't there, but I can, I've been there where every mistake is you're just a sniveling idiot.
And the fact that there's somebody there that you trust really does see you for who you really are.
Yeah.
You just got to get all of this shortcut things you keep doing.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was. I want to get there quicker. I want to get... And nobody had ever,
Like this whole convincing yourself that if I do this one terrible thing, it's gonna be worth it because it's gonna push me so far ahead in my career.
Never is.
And it's not. You cannot do the shortcuts. And I mean, it takes you a minute to bump your head up against the wall to realize you're not going to take the shortcut. I remember Reverend Mary from Universal Truth Center. She used to be like, when God tells you to do something, you might as well just do it because you're going to do it anyway. He going to make you do it anyway. Just agree.
Yep.
And that's what happened, right? You were like, I'm going to fight it. I'm going to fight it.
Listen, I am there. I'm just like praying. I'm just like, God, thank you for sending me to her,
this
her to
opportunity,
me, whatever.
Yes.
And
plus
right
it's
after,
national television.
I mean, literally after that. But you know what? I was so, it didn't register. Because it's like us right here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
you're not, the 6 million people are you not in the back of your mind.
Right. Thinking all the people. No, none of, because I like found a safe space.
Yeah.
And it was outside of my mother. It was outside of everything.
Yeah.
And
that must have been so helpful.
Oh, God, I can't even tell you. And then she, like after that, they let me clean up and stuff. And then they said, okay, meet us in the backyard. And then I, did and went out there and had to meet them in the backyard and climb up what seemed like, 20-foot pole. And I had to bungee jump.
What? Off of a 20-foot? And you were big.
Yeah.
Weren't you so scared?
To death, initially.
How many pounds were you then?
But then, probably about 280 maybe.
Oh, wow.
And I'd never done anything like that ever.
Oh, bungee jump?
Girl. And
oh, my God.
And I was like, wow, when God shows up, it is real.
He's like, what's about to happen? I know.
Because I'm about to climb up this pole.
Your reality is right there.
And I was like, if I die, it's my time. But if I live, then that is the justification.
So what happened?
Girl, I went up the first time, scared to death, and Yana was talking, and I let go too soon. I was like, okay, I got it, whatever. She's still talking. I let go.
You're like, I got to go when I want to go. What happened?
I thought I was going to die, but she was going to hang me.
What happened?
And I was like, oh my, because I let go and then I just start swinging.
Oh my God.
Like, I didn't pay attention. I don't know what I'm supposed to, nothing. So they pulled me down. Y'all was at the bottom. Miss Jill.
She's like, now you got to do it again. Because you weren't listening.
Yep.
Did you have to do it again?
Yes.
Oh, I made that up, but it's true. You have to go do it again.
I had to go right back up there and do it again.
Because you weren't listening. Because you jumped before and the cameras and it's part of the show. And okay, I'm sorry, you're going to have to do
and that.
Take two.
But at the same time, all this is happening, right? It is every problem that I have. Not listening, not paying attention, going before you know what you're supposed to do. Like all of that is happening in my head. I'm getting flashbacks to all the dumb shit I've done in my life. And it's the same thing.
Same thing.
I'm not paying attention.
You're not paying attention.
Not listening.
You're not present. You're not listening to her.
Thank you.
And
I think I know better than that.
And you think you know better.
Right.
She don't know what she's talking about. And then what you also have to, what I have to realize with my therapist, because I'm always trying to buck her too. I'm always like, you don't know. And I realize this chick is trained.
Right.
That's like this. Like when somebody comes to me and they want to talk to me about marketing, I'm trained. I know what I'm doing. It's years and years. I'm like, listen to me. I promise you, I know what I'm doing.
Right.
So then when I go and I ask people for advice, and then I'm like, oh, but I'm smart. Don't you know what I've accomplished?
Right.
No, you're not trained in that area.
Right.
And so that's when you realize that person is trained to make you go this way or that way or this way. And at some point, you're like, okay, fine.
Yeah, because when
I'll just listen to you.
after she went through all that, and she said, "Okay, I'm just crying, but it's over." I'm thinking, right? Yeah. Okay, going back up.
Go back up for what?
And I'm like, "Oh." I said, "Go back up." I followed directions.
We have 13 seconds, but we're going to go 5 minutes over.
And it was the most, to this day, most experience I ever had. Most beautiful experience I ever had.
Jumping off the second time?
Yes. I was weightless.
And you got the lesson.
Yep.
You were like, is it time for me to go?
Yeah.
Go?
But when you follow directions, if you are with people that you love and you trust and you follow directions,
exactly.
It'll be the best experience of your life.
That's what I'm saying. And it's hard, you know what I mean? Because we're smart and we have so much evidence to the contrary. Right. Well, this, and this, and this proves.
Long, but it's not gonna take me that long.
Exactly. Right. Like, I'm going to skip. Yeah. I mean, yes. And we all have those things where, I mean, obviously I do it too. I bump my head up and I'm like, you know that already. And you still fell into it. So I definitely think, to get better is to just constantly be present, that you're just a human, that your way may not be everybody else's way, but it doesn't mean that you're bad. It just means it's not everyone else's way.
Yeah.
And, I always want to get better every day.
Yeah.
And we all have so many blind spots, you know what I mean? So, so to try to just listen.
That I was going to say.
To Iyanla.
It is listening, and then if you are, and not being like, not listening to people that you don't trust or honor or want to work with.
Or have been where you are.
Thank you.
Or have been where you are.
Sometimes if you feel like you could offer.
Yes.
Something like if you can read it like, I already did all that. Yeah. You can, I will offer you this tastes good too. You decide what you want, but
Yeah, it's an option.
Yeah. And then at the same time, be able to identify people who come through your path that initially show up like that. Oh, she's just doing this for TV, but turn out to help you change your life.
Well, you know what? God is, blessings. If you think about it, blessings have to come in the form of a person. One way or the other. Where is it somebody who introduces you to the love of your life, or is it somebody who fires you so that you can get it? All of your blessings are going to come through a person going, you know what? I think Jill Tracey would be good at blah, 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 blah. The next thing you know, you way over there. Like Mary Gibson. Like y'all, I'm always talking about her because I love her so much. She saw me one way. I didn't see it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I know you're smarter than me. So if you're a genius, if I think you're a genius and you think I'm a genius, then I must be a genius because I believe you're a genius.
Right.
You have to accept. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
If she is an end all be all, and I'm like this, right? Mm-hmm. And she's telling me, no, you're the genius, and you go like, logically, right?
Right, and she's telling you, I'm pouring into you because somebody did it for me. So important. So important. And to want nothing from it. Nothing.
But it's hard to do over the course of time, to continue to give yourself to people in whatever way it is, and it not come back to benefit you directly, or you think it doesn't, but it always does.
It always does.
One way or the other.
Right. It may come another way.
Life is a circle.
Yeah.
Life is a total circle. It never, ever.
You gotta love that.
Yes. So, okay. All right. So we are going to do part 2, where we're going to talk about life after Iyanla.
Okay.
All right. And then what you're going to be doing. So when do you want to come back?
I thought we were going to.
We are done. We're going to come back in June. We're going to come back in June. Okay. All right. We're going to be done.
Okay.
We're going to be back in June. So, thank you, Miss Jill.
I'm so happy for you, Suzanne.
Suzanne in the circle.
This is just,
I can't even believe I'm here.
I can. It's exactly where you should be.
Well, I'm very grateful for having you. Thank you guys
for inviting me.
Jill Tracey, we are going to have you back soon.
You know me. We got to have cocktails next time.
We got to have cocktails.
I'll bring them.
Yes. I agree.